All right, and now we'll bring back on the casters with us to get into our next series of the day. But first off, Diamond, what a wholesome guy. Cubby, you got a shout out. Look at that.
I, I appreciate it. Diamond. I think we started off the season. I was throwing around some tier lists, and he had some banners for where we put it. But I always appreciate the banner with players, and if anyone's gonna shut me up, I always am happiest when the players do. So I appreciate it from Diamond. Always have a good time covering his team. And I think that their play style is really going to do them a lot of favors as we move into Proving Grounds.
Wait, hold on. What the hell, Diamond? I thought we were friends.
I was gonna give Magical an opportunity and say, next time I'll try and get him to say something nice about you as well.
I thought we were friends, Diamond. My heart, it hurts.
This is you problem. This is you problem at this point. We're gonna move on though in the show because we do have one more series to finish up for the day. Cloud9 Academy versus Golden Guardians Academy. Hydro check, everybody. Make sure you're getting your water in. Let's bring up the next series because this is the one I've been waiting all day for. Everybody should get hype about this right now because this is the team currently in first place after what happened in CLG's series earlier today, up against Cloud9 Academy, who are skyrocketing their way all the way to the top. Now, Magical, I know you're a big Cloud9 guy, so I'm going to give you the opportunity to chat about Cloud9 and intro in this team as we're getting ready for the match.
I mean, but look, I started my casting stuff, like my casting career with Cloud9, being a part of their academy broadcast back when the teams had it. And since there, I've always had like a close affinity with Cloud9, so I'll always root for them in my heart. That's why I thought Diamond and I were friends from our days back then, but I see how it is. but looking at this team and the growth of a lot of these players, especially looking at Copy mid lane, I'm really excited to see if they can continue this monumental climb up the standings.
That's the thing we're looking at. The climb continues coming. But we actually had a chance to go a little more in depth into this matchup and build up the hype a little bit more. So let's take a look.
Continuous effort and struggle. This was the rock bottom for Golden Guardians Academy. They were 4-4 in our standings and just got 3-0 by an amateur team.
They just brought down one of the top academy teams right now in excruciatingly convincing fashion.
But you know what? Golden Guardians bounced back. And what better way to bounce back than with the utter destruction of Cloud9 Academy debuting their roster.
He's got the flash over the wall. He's got a double kill, even with the root on the Isles. It's not enough to stop the triple kill. 6A. Cloud9 split with their full roster. Started with a hit thread on Reddit and quickly becoming a laughingstock after just one day together. More gold, more kills, and this game has been over for a while. Since that 0-2 loss to GGA, C9A have been 13-3, soaring up the standings to third place with just a single series separating them from GGA and CLGA.
What a huge knockup for Darshan! Copy is just that damn easy to fall off the package!
This matchup between Cloud9 and Golden Guardians will be a completely different C9A that GGA will be facing down. No jet lag, no 1 day of scrims. This team has become a terror to face off against in Academy, thanks in large part to the growth of C9A's mid laner, Cop. Wave from Coffee! He's got to be the hero to save the day! Takeover's gone! They've got the kill on the Instinct!
These are the two hottest teams we have in Academy. And this series will be crucial in determining who the #1 seed will be moving into Proving Grounds.
He's going to turn around, and there it is! Moonfall and the last breath finds Spawn! Golden Guardians!
Can Cloud9 get revenge?
Or will Golden Guardians embarrass Cloud9 again? This is our match of the week.
Ooh, will they embarrass them again, Cubby? My goodness. Again, the history between these teams, it's pretty spicy based on the last time they played.
Yeah. I want to dive into that a little bit because I caught up with C9A before the series, and I asked him about the last time that they went toe-to-toe and about 100X. And I think starting there, and that was a real low point for Golden Guardians Academy. I mean, they said, we were kind of, according to C9A, somewhat on cruise control going through the amateur tournament. And losing to 100 Thieves next, an amateur team, 0-3, that really was a big wake-up call for Golden Guardians. And according to C9A, it's like, it forced us to change practice. It forced us to focus more. And it was a big moment that brought us together as a team. And the first series we saw after that, what started this 14-4 hot streak for Golden Guardians, it was destroying C9 debuting their roster.
Exactly. And again, this is the Golden Guardians that we kept thinking, when's Violet going to come in? When's Violet going to come in? With Visa issues, it's now Stixxay as the AD carry primarily for this team. And I think that we also saw them start getting comfortable with that notion as well. Like, all right, Stixxay's our guy. Let's get comfortable playing with this version of the roster. And Stixxay's been having an insane performance as well. In terms of kills, currently the kill leader in Academy with 162. Second place is Cowrie with 122. He's literally 40 kills above the next highest kill leader in the league right now. Golden Guardians have been finding incredible success and now have the opportunity to claim first place in Academy for themselves. But who's their opposition, Magical, if not the team that wants revenge the most against them after their crushing 0-2 performance the last time these two teams faced.
But think about it this way. Sure, they lost 0-2 to Golden Guardians, but that was also when they had just, fully gotten their roster together.
Yep. Yeah.
That was right off the back of
the jet lag.
No days of 1 day of scrims. But then also the fact that the very next day, they clapped Evil Geniuses. And from there, went to go 13-3 after that series. This is another hot team that you look at and say, this team is honestly a team that now can contest Golden Guardians again and really does want that revenge and might be capable of doing so.
Yeah, and I want to give so much credit over to C9 because I don't think we've ever had a team that was, looked at so critically by the community, given the hype behind them, given Malice playing.
Yeah.
And their split started terribly. I mean, that was the most popular Academy team thread we've seen on Reddit, and it wasn't for a good reason. It was because people said, this roster isn't going to work. These guys look terrible. They're 13-3 since then. These are the two hottest teams we have in Academy. They are at the top of our standings, and with 2 weeks left moving in the Proving Grounds, this has a lot of implications for who can take that #1 seed, and I'm really excited to see who ends up coming out on top, as I know that we have some bonus footage. There is even history between these two teams, Magical.
Exactly. The history between these teams, again, reminder, Malice had just gotten into the country like a day before. They had one scrim. He had 3 hours of sleep before going into this series here.
But Kangas, they have history like
PG.
Yeah, this is from PG last year. This is from the summer 2021 split where
GG knocked him out.
And the thing is, you can make an argument that these are very different rosters, even if they're most of the elements the same for Cloud9. They look like they're playing as a completely different team. Then Golden Guardians, a whole new team. Every single position is someone different.
That's why I always check the nameplates before you dive into the replays, everybody. But with that said, we've done laid the groundwork. We've set the stage for these two teams. Now it comes down to performance and who can actually show up on the day. One final best of two ahead of us between Cloud9 Academy and Golden Guardians Academy. I'm hearing the pick and ban is ready, so Magical, take it away.
Thank you so much, Steve. It's always good having you around. We'll see you in the halftime show. But Cubby, this is our game of the week. Cloud9 Academy, Golden Guardians Academy. What better way to get it up to the top and tie for first for Cloud9 than by taking down Golden Guardians and cementing that revenge?
I think it would be so appropriate for this team because, once again, I mean, we never have Reddit threads that get popular made about Academy. If we're being honest, right? We should really have some more viewership, some more love towards some of these Academy players. And the one time we did see that pop off, it wasn't for a good reason. I mean, people were doubting the C9 roster, and they have come roaring back. I truly think that they are the hottest team that we have, going up against the second hottest team that we have in Golden Guardians. And I just want to see what the series looks like, what these guys bust out, because C9, they're battle tested. There was a 1-1 split they had against CLG, the other team in first place last week, in those two games. So I think it's a good test for Golden Guardians. I think it's a good test to see how legit C9 is. I think this decides who our top dog is in Academy at the moment, and I just really want to see if this match can deliver to all the hype that we think it can.
Well, looking as we are pretty deep into the champion select already, the double jungle bans towards Malice pretty much never going to be allowed to play it. Players either don't know how to play it or they're just that confident that Malice is that good. Maybe a little bit of both. Evelynn, Karthus gone, Zeri gone, Gwen, Karma, Caitlyn all gone, but Jinx and Aphelios both left open and immediately grabbed by both teams.
And I think that this rise for Golden Guardians, it is one of Ryoma's most played champions. He is 6-1 on the rise in 7 games, and Ryoma has been having a great split. I know that we're really excited about the development of Copy, but I think Ryoma is playing some of the best League that we have seen out of him. And he's doing it on the carries like the Lucian, the Yasuo, but he's also doing it what we know and love Ryoma for, some of these facilitators. His ability to play Ryze and make good use of it, punishing these side lanes. I think Golden Guardians already have a setup where they could look to empower Iconic with something like a Jarvan or a Xin. They could play through mid to attack this Ahri early and get Ryoma out into the side lanes where Golden Guardians have looked really good, primarily getting the bot lane and playing through Stixxay.
Well, being that it is a Hecarim on the other side of the Rift, I kind of go...
See the bear?
Maybe the bear, maybe Xin Zhao. Those are two options that we could see for Iconic to play here.
Viego.
Viego is also another one of those champions that definitely could get leaned towards in the jungle role, but is the Xin Zhao, or the reason why I thought it is good highlighted at best. Playing around Ryoma, having that tag team duo between the two, the Xin Zhao really works well with the Ryze.
This is a much stronger mid-jungle duo early when it comes to attacking the lanes. Now, Malice, I think that Malice, like, of course, there are the herbivore jungler memes, you know, like, all this guy does is farm. He actually has done a good job of getting involved in kills early and having that fit into his path. I think Malice should get a lot more credit in that aspect of finding the right parts to actually help his lanes. This is going to be tough. You're going into a Ryze and Xin Zhao with an Ahri. Your mid lane can easily be attacked. Zin's much stronger than you earlier. Ryze can get shoved and go find you in the jungle. One of the ways that we have seen teams put behind Malice, since some junglers say that his pathing is predictable. So I want to see if Golden Guardians are going to be able to prioritize that, get in the face of this Hecarim and make a big difference. Now, as we shift into the next phase of draft, we see a couple of the tanks taken away from Darshan, and that's going to be an early Ornn lock-in for Tony top.
Well, look at the other ban. It's a Sion and a Vayne. Darshan has played that Vayne into something like Ornn before.
We see an auction?
Yeah, that was what I was just about to follow up with. I was about to say, but then there's the other option that they could go for. Auction is something that Darshan likes to play into these tanks if Vayne is not available.
Could be a Fiora. We have seen Darshan play the Fiora. He's yet to drop on that pick. I also think it's important that taking this Ornn, the Thresh was banned away, so this does give Tahm Kench over 2 Isles. I think that really helps kind of steady that 2v2. And they saved last pick for Chime.
Right.
Chime's played a lot of support champions. I'm wondering if we get something special. I've been really liking the set in the Tahm Kench. I think that is an option if Chime wants to bust it out. He also has busted things out like Morgana last week.
Yeah, I saw that.
Into the Nautilus. That was huge in Golden Guardians' win. I want to see if they make good use of this counter pick for Chime.
I'm waiting.
Yeah, it could be the Soraka. It's very good at the Tahm Kench.
I know, but I was getting baited by the brand of her. I really wanted that. I wanted something more spicy. You know me. I want something more spicy. The Soraka, you're right. It is a good pick into Tahm Kench. It makes a lot of sense, especially because now you can be the ambulance. You can save your teammates who are going to dive deep into enemy lines.
That silence stopping the shield as well.
Yeah.
That can be really critical in the Tahm Kench matchup.
Yes.
Now, I think the real, critical part that we're going to look at, though, I want to keep my focus on Ryoma versus Copy.
Oh, yeah.
Because I think that both of these mid laners, Ahri and Ryze, what they want to do is, utilize priority to go affect sides, go affect the team, affect the matchup. And I think that Golden Guardians mid-jungle 2v2 is very strong. And I want to see if they can get up in the face of C9, get early leads, because if they don't, we've seen so many times Cloud9 getting into the 20-minute stage of the game, being on even footing or slightly ahead, and then just breaking a game wide open off of just stat checking and any plays they are able to make. So I want to see if Golden Guardians can stay proactive, attack the mid lane, and try and get their sides going before C9 start to scale up.
Well, that's one thing we'll have to wait until we load up onto the Rift to figure out whether or not Golden Guardians can do that against Cloud9. With having a lot of safety on their side, even having something like a Gnar into Ornn, good wave clear, gets good control of the top side of the map, and gives freedom to Malice, where normally you would expect to see a lot of attention in mid lane. But the fact that we're kind of expecting it to be a neutral bot lane, a more aggressive, maybe just pushing it top lane from Darshan, Malice now has that opportunity to counteract any of the ganks Iconic might do in mid lane.
Maybe. I think that Malice also is looking to open up space for him to farm, because I think in this matchup, it's really important getting Hecarim out of those first 2 clears on okay footing. That's where Zen can really get up in the face of Hecarim and make a big difference. So I want to see if C9 are able to drop some trinkets, move around the map to try and protect Malice, protect those camps so we can get them. And we've seen what Malice can do in the later stages of the game when he does get fed, when he does get that Trinity Force plus on the Hecarim. He's made a big difference before for C9. Gonna have to see if he can make that big difference again. It's a tough task going up against Iconic and Ryoma on the Xin Zhao Rise. We've seen them break so many teams playing this combo. And C9, it's going to be a challenge for them in the early stages of the game.
And that's why my eyes still get drawn back to mid lane, as you had talked about Cubby, looking at Copy and Ryoma. This is where the attention has to be, more so than just the fact that you have the Xin Zhao Rise combination on one side and you have Hecarim and Ahri. Exciting things, but the fact that both these players have been played pivotal roles into setting up victories for the team. While Stixxay might be the one leading the charge with the most kills, Ryoma has done a lot to make sure there's space for that bot lane.
And it's something that, talking to Copy before this is a matchup that he looks forward to. He really sees Ryoma as one of the better mids. Of course, both of them hailing at a time from the 100 Thieves organization, Copy being ex-100 Thieves Next, Ryoma being on 100 Thieves Academy. He knows firsthand how good this player is, and he really looks forward to this matchup because it's a good test for him. I want to see if Copy can deliver. It's going to be a tough mid-jungle situation. I want to see if Golden Guardians can really cash in on it as we dive into this map. Looks like Malice is going to start the Raptors, whereas Darshan will spot Iconic and Tony top. Starting out and then spread
buff. But he is not backing out of this one. He's getting a lot of damage on to these members, trying to make it a little bit more tricky, and it buys space and buys a little bit of time for Hecarim.
And I don't know if he's able to force Ornn off of any of the creeps early. If he was, that'd be huge. Okay, no. Tony was able to pick up all 3.
There we go.
So not going to cash in with that. Whereas we are going to shift our focus to the bot lane. This lane, so the Soraka into the Tahm Kench, you do not get priority early, especially in the Jinx rockets. But once you get a few points into Soraka's kit, you can out-sustain, and it really enables Stixxay to walk up and trade aggressively with this lane, something we're going to be looking for Golden Guardians to do. As Stixxay and Shime, they have been the best bot lane in the Academy. Stixxay averaging being up over 400 gold at the 14-minute mark. That's a part of Golden Guardians funneling him, but also really speaks to how well these two have laned and played in the Academy. So this is a tough task for King and Isles. And the last time they met, it was the bot lane of Golden Guardians that were the ones that really broke C9. Really made this a hard series. So we're going to have to see if Stixxay and Chime can do that again.
A lot of that was off of Chime with those engaged that he had on Thresh. Not being the Bard one trick, being the Thresh one trick, as he likes to make sure we always get corrected on. But it was powerful. That's why it drew a ban this time around, since he hadn't picked it yet. And make sure that you're going to have at least a little bit of an easier time if you're Jinx, Tahm Kench going up into the Aphelios and Soraka. But like you said, Tahm Kench does struggle against Soraka. You're not really looking for any trades. You can't really do much. The heals will come in from Soraka, but also you have a hard time popping the thick skin with the shield if you're silent.
It's really speaks to, Golden Guardians too as a team, like how their identity has formed, saving that counter pick for Chime and just putting Tony top on the Ornn. And I mean, Tony, he's undefeated on Ornn and Gragas. It's 4 games on each. He's 4-0 for each. I think it really speaks to kind of this emerging identity that we have seen form from Golden Guardians and just how much priority they put around Stixxay. Their coach, who I like to joke is a coach of the split, given the amount of good play that Stixxay has been able to put on the Rift as well. He has been so good this season.
Well, right now, he's got to be careful. I had to flash away. It was a good zap combo that lined up that Abyssal... What is it called? Abyssal Dive now? Abyssal Dive.
Yeah, the reworked Voyage. It's
I know.
You don't go that deep.
I just have to think about it, because when they changed the... Look, Cubby, I've been playing this game for a long time. There have been a lot of abilities over the years, and they get muddled in my brain. I have boomer brain these days. I'm not as young as I used to be.
Ninja Tabby, right? No more.
Where's the dodge, man? Where's the dodge?
Those are gone.
Where's the dodge? Come on.
All right, that's way back.
Yeah.
That's way back.
I remember those days.
I think checking back in on the game, though, Matt Magical, something we teased heavily, Xin Zhao Rise, their ability to make plays on the first couple of clears. It's been a full clear from Iconic, and Malice, he got the double crab. He's now returning on the Krugs on time. He has done all of his camps. He has not been interrupted. Golden Guardians have yet to attempt to make a play. And this is a huge advantage for C9 because once Hecarim gets that 6, the windows start to shrink. And that's why I think we see Iconic sneaking into this mid lane. We'll see if any flashes are burned to try and set this up.
But I love Copy's positioning right now. He expects that there's going to be a play on the top half from the river. Iconic is hovering there, in fact. Makes it a lot easier for Copy to kind of stay safe, even if it's going to be a bit of a trade back and forth between the two members. The dodge there on that last Q keeps them alive.
And even Iconic being there just allows Ryoma to step up and find the positive trades by himself. So I still think that, you know, while Iconic not able to find a winning gank, it still is the right look. We're just going to have to see if Golden Guardians can do more with this mid lane priority because at the moment, C9 are just slowly winning out on some of their lanes. The counter pick with the Gnar. This Jinx, Tahm Kench holding strong. Uh-oh. We got to pause.
Look at that with the root, the follow-up root with the silence. Then it's Stixxay's and Chime's lane.
And they found them split up. Isles was going to help Copy, who had been under siege in the mid lane. They thought that they needed that Tahm Kench to hover. Golden Guardians bot lane, they see that, and you cannot make any mistakes against these guys. They will punish you. We see it firsthand there as Stixxay, Chime sync up. A beautiful first blood.
Coach of the Split continues that moniker going because that was a great play started off by Stixxay with the root, followed into the root from Chime. So when we take a look at this replay, you get to see that in action.
And I mean, this is just such a good look from Golden Guardians bot lane. And I know that, like, you know, with talking with Stixxay before this match, I mean, it's kind of like bittersweet for him because I know that, you know, he said he's still got stuff left in the tank as a player. I think we're seeing that with how good he's performing, but he's still, you know, technically a positional coach. This is Violet's bot with Avisa. And, you know, like what he said, it's like, you know what? When I walked in, I wasn't expecting to be the best, but I knew I could work towards it. And
okay.
We got to pause.
That is a here on to Ryoma, but
died.
Malice was taking up the turf for so long. Ryoma 1v2, man.
No way.
Look at the trades, the outplays from the GGA mid laner.
And that's Ryoma just holding out of the Rune Prison and a huge overextension from Malice as, I mean, he just gets locked under that turret. That's a play that you can't go for once the charm misses. Malice tries the force. Ryoma turns it on its head, and just like that, Golden Guardians are gifted a win with that mid-jungle duo. They didn't even have to earn that one. It was a freebie going over to Ryoma. That's going to hurt as the game goes on.
I mean, I can't say much more on that one play. It was really well done by Ryoma to wait it out. I think he even waited until the last moment when the Unstoppable is taking place from Unstoppable Onslaught to then get the Rune Prison onto Malice, so he couldn't even leave. He was stuck underneath the turret.
Oh, and the high-value Merc Treads for Ryoma with that one. Now able to at least make it harder for the Charm to chain up with all the other CC abilities that C9 are going to be having this game. I do want to return to that Stixxay point real quick because I know stepping into the team, like I said, is bittersweet. Still thinks he has some more left as a player. But no, he had to work to kind of get back to where he was at. I think the thing that stuck out the most to me in my, you know, just trading messages with Stixxay is he trusts his team. This is a guy that's played in the finals of MSI. He has faith in making calls and making the team, knowing they can capitalize. We see one here.
Yeah, speaking of trusting your players, this is going to be the 4-man tank into the bot lane. They get a lot of flashes out of C9, but that's honestly a win, because now you can just reset, go back mid, or you even get the dragon along the way.
It's 2 flashes, and this should be the dragon started from Iconic, because he will pull it off screen. Ryoma just gets to go catch mid, and it still is Golden Guardians finding positive plays, as really the only downside for them so far on this map has been Darshan utilizing that counter pick to really give it to Tony Top on the top side, but you're still in Ornn. Right. It's not the worst thing in the world.
I've seen many an Ornn game where they go down 0-5 and still are useful, because it is Ornn. Ornn will always be useful just with his ult alone.
First Dragon going over to Golden Guardians, capitalizing on that bot priority. And I think C9 trading here. This is good for Malice as Darshan.
Nice dodge.
Little hop, skip, and a jump.
Nice little sidestep there from Darshan. I appreciate the attempt from Tony Top, saying that Mega was down. You might as well try to get something onto Darshan, but it just didn't stick. And all this time, because Darshan has this lead topside, this is the one part of the map that is winning for Cloud9. It's given Malice time to get the Rift Herald. He can even rotate top and pop that immediately if they want to, but I would have liked to see them wait and use that maybe mid.
Okay, so for C9, they have chosen to break this lane. This is an early break, so it does remove Tony Top from a very losing game situation, but it does enable Darshan now to move around the map. So I want to see if him and Malice can make an overload play in one of the other lanes. And on the bright side for C9, I think they might be able to get 2 crashes, which is a pretty big deal. Iconic does have to be careful sneaking around.
Okay. 2 crashes, that's nice for Darshan. Getting a lot of damage. Can open up a future play in the near future. I even say in the near future with how low that got.
Yeah.
But like you said, it does open up Darshan to move around the map at this point. That's what we need to see. In fact, I wouldn't be surprised if Cloud9 just went for a full lane swap.
And like for C9, I mean, look at the scoreboard. It's a dragon for GG. They're up 2-0 in kills, but it's a 1.5 gold lead thanks to the laning from Darshan and that first tower take, as Darshan taking some notes out of his buddy Summit, his teammate playing with LCS. That's going to be the Hull Breaker Gnar coming in. Really tough to force this pick out of lane in the 1v1, and Darshan now is going to be able to draw multiple people to his lane because Tony Top cannot deal with him alone.
I'll be honest, I thought that we wouldn't see as much Hull Breaker as we did today, but then I forgot that we're on 12-4. We're not on...
Still is 12-4, yeah.
I had to look at that and I'm like, oh, that's 12-5 where the nerfs come in. That's when we'll see a little bit.
Surprisingly, Mad Magical, according to our intro video, we haven't seen any Renata mid today, as you were really
that's because
hyping
they're
that
cowards. Okay. There's a difference here. If you're not brave enough to do it, of course you're not going to play it.
Don't think we're going to see any Renata. Tahm Kench a little bit too strong. Really good matchup for TK. And we do have to pause. Speaking of TK, King Isles, they're under siege as the Eat comes in, a TP comes in. And I think that might be enough to deter Golden Guardians.
It is, but keep in mind, Cubby, you're gaining a lot by getting this out of Cloud9. TP is now down for Copy. It's going to be about 2.5 minutes until the dragon spawns, where Copy is now forced to kind of meet up wherever Golden Guardians want him to be if he wants to join a fight.
I do want to credit Golden Guardians' map movements here as well. Tony Top actually shifted down to hover mid, ate that wave. Now he's going to go back top to try and catch this as Darshan realizes this. Going to utilize the strength he has, that early mythic. A huge chunk on the Tony Top as he just throws the Ignite out at him. Look, he was about to get his TP back up, so, you know, got to light him on fire.
I know Hullbreaker is strong, but it's not a mythic. It's a legend pick.
Okay. Completed item.
There we go.
Thank you, Mad Max.
You're welcome. I can still teach people things, guys.
I got a little bit of slip up from me. But hey, props to C9. Darshan answering Tony hovering mid. He's able to actually take that inner turret and still get the crash to make sure that that wave cannot be frozen by Tony Top. So I think the early turret takes, C9 has still managed to find leads and utilize the power of this Gnar. Even if he's not moving around the map, I do think that early Rift drop, they've been able to pay it off.
They have. Getting the...
Yeah, so now taking the jungle too.
Exactly. This is actually allowing a lot of control for Cloud9 because Malice is power farming for days. He is fully facilitated to take everything possible on his side without any worry.
And to be fair to C9, we did see, you know, Ryoma almost get Copy in the mid lane. We saw Iconic, you know, have a successful hover bot with Ryoma's movement, but we hyped up this mid-jungle duo, what they were able to do on the first couple of clears. It doesn't feel like it's been enough, and now we look at the map, it's a 2k gold lead for C9. Malice is way ahead of Iconic at this point of the game, and him and Ryoma missed out on a couple of the big windows that you can make plays with early by diving side lanes. It just didn't happen for Golden Guardians, so they're fighting a little bit of an uphill battle at the moment. So,
okay, I pseudo get the whole herbivore meme towards Malice, but I also don't at the same time because, well, maybe in the early stages of the game he plays like a herbivore where he's power farming. He always builds like he's going to be a carnivore, where he's playing aggressively. He's got damage. Right now, King, ooh, good gobble from Isles, keeps him alive. Copy's on the other side, and that's where they could turn this around. He doesn't have a TP, so he just walks the entire way there, but the Darshan TP behind them doesn't really net them much, except for maybe fighting around the dragon.
It does group him up for the drag, but I mean, Golden Guardians didn't burn him up.
Right.
That was a Gale Force setup from Stixxay, so I don't think C9 can start that. They have to buy time for King to reset, and that TP, it enables Ryoma to hit this mid turret where it's now at half, and Golden Guardians, because King had to reset, because that Tahm Kench ult was missing, they still get priority over the dragon, and this objective should still be there.
There's a great read from Ryoma, who TP'd himself into mid lane to get the wave to crash so they could then rotate for the dragon. They're now up 2 dragons, and it is a Cloud... I mean, it's only Cloud Soul, but it's still going to be a Cloud Soul potential that they have now set themselves up for.
Wait, a Cloud Soul for Cloud9 isn't like a Taco Tuesday buff? You know, tacos on Tuesday?
I'd have to do the stats for that.
Have you been kept up with Amateur?
Yeah. What is it? Speedy Grapes.
Taco Gaming.
Yeah, Speedy Grapes got to get.
Yeah, we got Taco Gaming.
Well, I know it's Taco Gaming. They're in the PG, but it was Speedy Grapes who did the research on that. We got to get him on the hunt for how Cloud9 does with Cloud Soul.
I think it's a good call, as at the moment, Copy. He's looking for a pick.
It is Copy who initiates all of this. They rely so heavily on Copy, but it didn't work out well enough. Look at where Stixay is. I'm not looking at Malice. I'm looking at Stixay. He's getting a lot of damage over the wall. Malice is doing the damage to try to fight back, but he just couldn't do it. It's a kill and a shutdown for Ryoma. They've got a great knock-up on the members of Cloud9. The flash in from Ryoma gets the flash out from Copy.
And also, that's the flash from King, and C9 turned the play. They kept Chime alive, and the ambulance Soraka just able to top off the health bars. I think it was a decent attempt for Malice trying to go for the split with the ult, but it just wasn't enough. Golden Guardians hold strong. Darshan keeps on getting gold on the side, on the bright side, but it's too early in the game right now for C9 to find these plays, and a good look from Copy turned to the wayside by Golden Guardians.
That's why I was looking at where Stixay had positioned. He was left virtually untouched throughout that all, and now Copy, he's got no flash, no ult, no way to escape.
Ryoma's rise, man. We teased it earlier. He's 6-1. Ryoma's been playing some great league at the moment. And I think it's really showing in this game is his map movements. He has been the one that's been answering every play from C9. Anything proactive that C9 attempts. Ryoma is there to counter, and he hits harder.
Darshan attempts to flank Tony Top, but Tony Top is still
may not be here for
tanky.
this.
No, I thought Iconic was there, but he had already TP'd back. Yeah. He had already recalled, so Tony Top will fall. The kill goes over to Malice.
Good counter as Ornn in the long lane being pushed up. Malice, Darshan, they know they can attack. First positive play for C9 as we get a replay again. I love the preemptive flash from Chime because he immediately gets himself out of harm's way. I think that's a good understanding of Soraka and able to sneak his way out. Malice almost traded out the Soraka, but just was in too deep. And Golden Guardians, that's a lot of flashes they got on the back half too, man. Magical. We have to keep our eyes out for King. I know they have the eat for Miles, but they can only eat one member. I wonder if GG is going to be able to hit a setup onto King because he is down flash. And that's a big alarm. If you can combine anything with a silence from Soraka to prevent the eat, it could be a big opportunity for Golden Guardians to attack.
Well, I'm even looking at how they played that last fight that we saw in the replay, how they were able to kite back, then re-engage afterwards. The disengage, re-engage combo.
We got to pause. I know Rift's being pulled. Looks like Golden Guardians are going to take it, but C9 are posturing for a fight. Darshan's grouped.
Got to be Copy again, looking for the engage. Couldn't steal away the eye, but now they've got Copy split up. They've got a lot of damage on top of him as well, but it's going to be Tony Top's ult getting the double knock up onto two members of Cloud9. The silence was too late. The re-engage comes in from Malice. They've got damage. They've got kills. They've got resets as well. It's King on the sideline getting so much damage, even if they're getting kills themselves out of 6A and the rest of Golden Guardians. They have to use the Realm Warp to escape.
And the setup from C9, I love King Malice comboing the rocket with the Hecarim ult. They got Golden Guardians so low. This time around, Chime, they punish his flash being down. C9 aren't able to have that, or they can deal with the health bars this time now that Soraka's taken off the table, and C9 win the fight.
It is a great turnaround from Cloud9. I also got to praise Malice with his conviction there on turning the fight back once they realized, hey, they also are down a lot of sums. We can easily catch them out, but right now, it's Darshan.
Curious.
No way. Darshan 1v3. The heals from Chime. It's a killing spree that lets Stixay live.
I thought that Stixay was playing it too close, but he had the ambulance Soraka in his back pocket. Chime able to catch up with the move speed. And we get a second look at this fight. Look at the engage from Malice, how he syncs up with King. It's a really good disengage to save Iconic, but this re-engage from Malice, syncing this up with a Super Mega Death Rocket, this is the big moment. It hits way too many members for Golden Guardians. Chime falls because he was split because of the fear, didn't have flash, and that's what enables C9 to wipe this fight.
It allows them a lot of gold they desperately needed to make sure they can continue to scale into this game, as well giving a lot of that gold to King. He only got one kill, but it was a shutdown that he picked up.
And we're going to have to see if C9 can put this to good use quickly as returning to live. We are 5 seconds away from this first Clown Dragon spawning, the third of the game. And C9, they've gotten control over the river thanks to the bot lane prio Darshan's netted. Golden Guardians are trying to answer back. They're going to throw down the Herald to take mid. But C9, they don't want to give this up for free. Malice, Darshan are taking the Dragon at the moment.
Iconic went in for the fight against Copy, but Copy just charms and gets a lot more damage back on Thin. Had it not been for Chime here, it would have been a lot more devastating. That's why Darshan was hoping to have that flank.
They're thinking about it. That doesn't connect, but Darshan, Malice, they're stepping up.
Have flash for Darshan. No, they don't have flash. And so if they jump into him, it makes it a lot easier. And Malice veers off Stixxay completely from the fight. He's now getting a little bit of damage, but the rocket from King was able to pick up a kill with 2 in the inventory of Cloud9. They can chase down the remaining members of Golden Guardians. In fact, they're pinging onto the Baron.
Iconic went down. He was trying to get his ult off, was not able to because of the chain CC from C9. Now the jungler's off the table. You called it. They're thinking about the Baron, but I think the health bars got low enough. The risk from Ryoma, too great for C9 to stick to it, but C9 win another fight.
They win another fight. They're getting more gold for themselves. In fact, they are 4,000 over that of Golden Guardians at this point in the game.
And these engages the patience from C9. This engage on Iconic, he wasn't even able to get his ult off. Watch, he's going to go in with Tony Top, gets immediately stunned up by Darshan, thrown into the wall. No Crescent Guard coming out of Xin Zhao. He's headed to the Death Chamber, and from there, Golden Guardians just didn't have a front line to fight behind.
It made it a lot more difficult, even though I will give credit over to Ryoma. This player is still going to be the linchpin for Golden Guardians to keep them going.
He's got to be the hero, yeah. And what I like about this combo, the Rise of Aphelios, is that whoever you hit with that Empowered Rune Prison, it does give Aphelios a target that he feels more confident to step up, get that damage off in, because, of course, Aphelios, a little bit lower range than Jinx as we get into the later stages of the game. Gonna have to keep our eyes out for Stixxay, how he's able to position with that Gale Force, with that Flash, and around all the heals that Chime's gonna be giving him. Because he does have the tools to step up, but it's not easy against C9's composition, especially when you have this Gnar Hecarim. Gonna be a tough game for Stixxay and Chime to really try and save, but if they want to have a chance in this one, they have to be the ones to do it.
What I want to even bring back is a callback to our previous series in Game 1, where you talked about splitting up Tahm Kench from Orianna. Here for Golden Guardians, it's similar. If you can split up Chime from either Stixxay or Ryoma, that is a big win for Cloud9. And so far, Malice has been doing a great job of that. His scoreline doesn't really show how much of an impact he's had on a lot of these fights, and that's why I even like going back a call back to the previous series, because Diamond talked about that well as well. Scoreline doesn't always tell you the full story.
I think it's something that's important. I also just want to, remind our viewers too, a well-placed silence from Soraka can also spell death, as it would not enable the TK to get the eat off or the shield. We'll see if Chime can maybe find a sort of combo like that to really bring Golden Guardians back into this game, because they still, you can see the map, they just do not have control at the moment.
It's similar stories for both teams. If you can split up Tahm Kench from the team of Cloud9, or you can split up the Soraka, either one that accomplishes that goal will win the fight.
And I also think that, as we are diving into this one, prepping for this next Dragon, it's still more of the consequences that we saw early from Golden Guardians not getting that Xin Rise going. They just didn't find a lead big enough. I know that Ryoma's huge, but Iconic's really far behind. He's falling early in these team fights now. And,
look at Darshan. Look how much gold he has over Tony Top.
Exactly.
Even having more gold than Ryoma.
Darshan's huge. And Golden Guardians not finding wins in mid and bot. This top lane matchup got out of control over time. Now, do you want to bring it back? We have another Dragon. Cloud9 were able to prevent Soul Point from going over to Golden Guardians in our last fight. And we saw Tony Top and Iconic. Their engage was deterred by Darshan and Malice. I want to see if they can play around this Ornn a little bit better. And curious that C9 is actually playing for this red buff. They're taking control of the top side. They're going to take this tool away from Stixxay.
The smite secure. It was secured by Malice. They got another stack away, another bit of jungle that has been denied to Iconic to keep this Hecarim that's scaling up in the game and looking powerful going.
And you can see Darshan top. He's going unanswered. Tony Top is pushing out the bot lane, trying to prep emergency path for Golden Guardians to maybe get access to that river. Darshan is now going to be answered by Ryoma. He does have an empowered TP, but Darshan's buying space to enable C9 to guarantee the fact they get control over the bot river, control over this dragon, and Golden Guardians are already fighting an uphill battle coming into this one, and they're looking to answer elsewhere.
That's what we talked about at the beginning in Champions, like the space you can create for Cloud9 as your top lane, or even your mid lane if that was the one that had worked out, to allow Malice to feel more facilitated, to dive in. The facilitator memes abound everywhere, but he does feel like he is the one facilitated to start off these fights and to be aggressive.
And Golden Guardians, they're seeding this dragon. They have everyone thrown up onto this top side. I think important to note, Stixxay is alone. If he walks through this, he's spotted. Oh,
they engaged, and they got Stixxay completely split away. Soraka can't heal enough.
Alone.
They got to shut down, and look at Chime. Look at the damage he's taken. Tony Top doesn't get the knock-up on anybody. It's missed completely. Copy might die in the fight, but they already got the kill on the other side onto Iconic. Ryoma, he's low,
Chime.
but they're healing him up. Chime's doing his best. Ryoma's still going. He's fighting back, but finally, Malice shuts him down.
and Malice once more, he's still going for the Raka.
He's looking for the Banana Queen Ignite, ticks away, gets a killing spree for Darshan. Tony Top is the last surviving member underneath this turret. There are no minions for Cloud9, but they don't need them. They want the dragon instead.
And it's only one mistake from Stixxay, him just being a little bit split from the team. C9, they see that, they instantly go. Aphelios is taken off the map first, and Golden Guardians do not have the damage to follow up that fight. C9 just get to win the war of attrition from there. A beautiful angle found once again from Malice and Darshan.
Splitting up the team. That's the big message here. Cloud9 were able to split off Stixxay from Chime, kill him immediately. Even though at the end of that fight, they couldn't fully split off Chime from Ryoma, they had already got what they came for, and it was a disadvantageous fight with numbers for Golden Guardians.
And this spawns from lack of mid control. I think Stixxay is walking into the river not expecting to see three members of C9. And C9, they see Stixxay, and that's like their golden nugget, right? They are chasing Stixxay to the end of the rainbow, managed to send him to the gray screen, and take out the rest, even though the healing from Chime, doing as much as he could on the Raka, just not enough as eventually C9 able to rip through the rest of Golden Guardians. And now this game gets tough for Golden Guardians, man. Magical. They have to deal with a Jinx sieging up on them. They don't have the damage to get through this Hecarim and Gnar at the moment. And I don't know how they break the map setup from C9.
I don't either. It's just more gold for Darshan. He's getting another turret in the bot lane. Tony Top can do nothing to stop this Gnar.
And Golden Guardians are trying to find a three-man, trying to find someone that could face-check Stixxay. Just not going to be given over to them by C9. C9 holding strong. And they're going to be the ones that have mid-prio. They're the ones that have prio in whatever lane Darshan's going to be in. Now Copy, that's all three ults.
Copy always tries to start off these fights, but this time was too aggressive. Nobody was there to back him up.
Okay. A bit of an oops from Copy as he's going to donate one over to Stixxay. This will buy some more space time for Golden Guardians to kind of reset the map, get these side lanes okay. And we'll see how aggressive Golden Guardians plays this man advantage. Copy does have TP when he's up in 29, but they are making their way towards the Baron.
Got to keep in mind that even with an uneven state at the moment, a 5v4, Golden Guardians don't feel too confident to go onto this Baron, especially with Darshan about to go Mega.
And C9 have a fast track. When they force GG up the river, look at Golden Guardians. They have three members basing. C9 are still able to get the objective off this play, so even the poor engaged choice from Copy, C9 are still able to find the neutral off of it and not Golden Guardians. That's how far ahead they are on the map right now.
Well, the only way I can really see them actually being able to take something like Baron there, if you're Golden Guardians, is if they get a kill onto Malice. They get a kill onto Darshan. They deny those great zoning tools that utilize tight quarters like the Baron Pit to their advantage.
Now, we are set for another team fight around the Dragon in 2:30. I am curious how desperate Golden Guardians feel to start to poke prod this Baron, because Soraka's health bar is one that you have to be careful with around the Baron. If you heal up your teammates too much, you can get a little bit too low. And if Soraka goes down, that is the linchpin for Golden Guardians. What's going to enable Aphelios and Ryze to step up and get the damage done or down that they need to make. So they got to keep Chime alive.
Well, and you look at what they've built. It is not the tank Ryze that we are used to seeing. It is it's back to the tried and true, the old-fashioned AP, gonna do a lot of damage throughout all of these fights. And if you can see, if we see Ryoma have Chime always nearby him and always nearby Stixxay, I don't really see an easy way for them to get killed.
Now, it is a wit's end of the Force of Nature on the top side for C9. So Ryoma has a lot of health bar to get through. I think if he farms up enough, he should be able to walk into the next fight with a death cap. It's not going to be the MR cut you get from the Void Staff, but I think it's still going to be useful as we're going to stop a base.
Okay.
You get it back up for Dragon.
I was trying to look at the timers right now. It's a minute and a half for that, so maybe not necessarily the best. But right now, Ryoma took a bad trade against Darshan. He's a level down.
It's a wit's end.
Yeah, it's a wit's end play.
He has wit's end, Hullbreaker. He's on his own. No one can move this Gnar on the side, and we're seeing C9 play around it. props to Golden Guardians. They did sneak in a ward, so they see that C9's posturing around this Baron. I think, yeah, they started it. C9 instantly pull off. That's a big ward from Golden Guardians, giving them more information, but careful, Chime. He is a little bit isolated.
Yes, and look at Copy chasing down the best he can, but now that everyone's grouped that they need to,
hold on,
it's gonna be difficult.
Copy.
Malice takes a little bit of damage. The TP behind
is
though, 6A's got a lot of damage. The Wish keeps him going, but the flash from Chime, he's been split away.
Beautiful.
They got the kill onto the Soraka, but they got the kill next onto 6A. They've got everybody routed. They can easily harass every member of Golden Guardians, even if it's a flash kill onto King. Ryoma's huge. This is a big one. This could turn it completely around. He's got damage onto Darshan, but the Wit's End is keeping him alive this entire time. And now he's got to turn his attention on Malice. But Malice takes him down with his own rampage, and the tank can do nothing.
Darshan is too big, Malice is too big, and the engage from C9 is too good, Bad Magical, as the setup onto the Soraka. There was nothing that Chime could have done to escape that setup from Copy and Malice. That Soraka dies first. We mentioned how that's the linchpin of what Golden Guardian wants to do. And you don't have this Rise empowered, or like being empowered by Soraka in the back half. As we take a second look, look at the angle that Copy takes. This is impossible for Chime. Yes, he flashed over the wall, but Malice and Copy just follow up. They have all the movement, all the attack in the world. Golden Guardians cannot allow them to get a setup like that against this Soraka. C9 are able to get it, able to make it happen, and are able to cash into the win of the team fight, even despite some heroics being attempted by Ryoma.
He's attempted, but that's why we had to keep bringing up Soraka and Chime. If they can kill Soraka, it's really difficult to battle back as Golden Guardians. They need to make sure the Chime is peeled for it in some degree in order to keep 6A and Ryoma pumping out the damage.
And for C9, slowing down this sort of a game, that's been a big piece of the puzzle. The last time they went up against Golden Guardians, Malice, he likes to make sure he's getting his resources early before he makes an appearance on the map. C9's lanes were not playing around that. This time around, we saw them play around it. We saw Copy hover the right side, not get ganked by Iconic. We saw King and Isles. They made the one slip up. They were able to recover from there. They were able to try and protect Copy. And because they are able to get out of the early stages of the game like this, now this is what we see with the later stages of C9. It's so difficult for Golden Guardians to get back into this game, as Darshan has just been allowed to take over, him not being touched in the top lane. He has done so much work on this Gnar.
He's nearly full build as well. He's got so much that he can control any side lane. That Wit's End makes it so that Ryoma, the one person that might be able to deal with him, can't anymore.
Yeah, he's just going to demolish this turret. He doesn't even care. He's going to help let the cannon do the rest of the work. Can't move that with Hullbreaker. That's the first inhibitor turret falling for Golden Guardians. We're just going to have to see if they make an attempt as Chime.
Oh, Chime, he's forced to wish himself, but the damage from Copy keeps him dead in the dirt. They got the kill for King. They got the re-engage onto 6A. Look at the damage on the other side, but Malice is not dead. He's gobbled up and kept alive. They've got the kill onto the tank. 6A, Coach of the Year, can't do anything but watch his entire team fall, even with a explosive amount of damage there. Wait a minute, I have to eat my word. No, I don't. There it is. It's a quadra kill for King.
And Chime just not being allowed to move, copies Ahri, so much pressure, goes down in the end. Stixay, just not enough to bring it back as C9 pieced together a great mid-game. The angles that they took on the Soraka, it was too good.
And, I mean, maybe we can make an argument that Cloud Soul, even if they didn't get it, is the Cloud9 buff. They got 3 of those Cloud Dragons in that game, and
more powerful.
Look what happened.
I just have so much to praise C9 for in that one. I think that, handshaking that first clear for Golden Guardians, that's a big risk you run against a Hecarim and against Cloud9. And we saw what they were able to do, even despite some of the really good moments from Ryoma. He was 4-0-2. He was trying to carry Golden Guardians out what was somewhat losing early game. Almost was able to do it, but I so much praise has to go over to Darshan and Malice and Copy for those setups on the Soraka. There was never... Chime had one good fight where he was able to position well, and from there, he never had the opportunity to go help his team because they were attacking him first.
Yeah, and here we have a replay of that final fight, so we can kind of dissect that a little bit more and see exactly what happened. It was nearly turned around by Stixay. It looked a little risky at first.
It's just one zap hits, and Copy is like, all right, I'm going to immediately ult. I love the aggressiveness because, once again, once this Soraka is taken out, the health bars for Golden Guardians, they don't get replenished. It's a 5v4. Aphelios has so much more trouble stepping up, as we can see Darshan just jumping in is enough to get him the Gale Force out. It's a huge ult that connects from Stixxay, but just not enough. It's too late. And C9, I think their ability to really find these angles in the mid game, that was the big difference in that one. That's why they ended up taking game 1. And I just can't wait for game 2, man. I thought that was a really, really competitive game between both these teams, and want to see if Golden Guardians has a little bit of a different answer, a different flair.
Hey,
going to the
it's the revenge arc angle for Cloud9. Getting that first win, it was close, though. It was not quite the devastating losses that they suffered to Golden Guardians the last time that they could deal back to them. But starting off with a win is a good step in the right direction.
And hey, help solidify their spot in first. We have 8 series left, or 4 series left, 8 games left after this one. Before Proving Grounds, that 1 seed's going to matter. You want that best seed going into the tournament.
Wait. So,
we have 9 games left for these teams, you know?
Yeah, five, right? 5 more series after this one.
Including this one.
Well, because Super Week next week.
Yeah, it's only 3. Don't do live math in there, guys. This is...
Oh, yeah, you're right. You're right.
You need to go back to the lab, man. Get your beakers, get the calculator. You'll figure it out then.
Brain farting, not doing well. Why don't we toss it a break and get ourselves ready for our next part of this series of the week?